Good evening, everyone, and welcome tonight. Here we are, day number 168 for the update tonight. We are fully loaded on the update as well. Our man Jania is in the bed asleep. He is rolling out in a few hours, heading southeast. We'll talk about that a little bit more. It's very interesting. You'll enjoy. As well, lots of people jumping in here from all over. So thank you very much for being here. As always, thank you to Jeffrey Burnett for taking care of the chat. Zoltan Darabos or Darabos. Greetings from the UK. I like greeting our international folks that'll say hello in the chat. Welcome to you, sir. Sam Winters checking in from Brentwood, California. Augustin Ramirez, Minnesota. Welcome. Santa Clara, Hot Skills. You know, it's really good. And I appreciate you guys putting, your town in there, because believe it or not, they do read tomorrow when they're watching in Ukraine, and they always say, we love seeing where people are watching from. And over the last week, picked up a lot of international viewers, and it just makes them happy to feel that there are people with them. Peter, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. All right, folks, let's get to it. Big day going. Lots of things have unfolded, and I'm going to fully update you over the next few minutes. Let's get rolling. Donetsk, major over the last couple of hours. News coming out of Donetsk. This happened just a few hours ago. There was a explosion. And the explosion took place in a beer manufacturing hall that was converted to a munitions warehouse. So they were not manufacturing. The brewery was not working. It was a storehouse. Well, it has been destroyed, and massive explosions there. And we have a confirmed ammonia leak. That is what you see on the map on the left. It is basically a 4-kilometer circle for the ammonia leak there, and that says Zona Poraženia Ammoniacum, and that is the zone where the ammonia leak has happened. So people running around in their gas masks. The Donetsk people are telling them to close the windows, put the rags down. We've seen this, but throughout the war. But right now, it is burning heavy in Donetsk. Ukraine is doing a phenomenal job in striking places. They just are. Now, whether that was a shell, whether that was a collaborator, special ops, I don't care. It's just like the story in Crimea. The result is accomplished. What hit it? At this point, it would be great to know 1,000,000%, and we will talk about it. I'll show you something, but I can tell you nothing official out of Kyiv. They're not going to say anything, not a peep, because they've got them on their heels. I am going to show you some video and let you see the emotional effect this is having on Russian folks that are now being hit. It's very interesting, and we'll look at that in just a moment. So this was the breaking. Now, President Zelensky, just a few hours ago in his evening address, made it very clear that Kyiv viewed the strikes in the Dnipropetrovsk region, which basically happened after the strike, explosions, whatever, at the airbase in Crimea. Zhenya and I told you last night that we expected a kickback. There always is a kickback, and it appears the kickback was in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The city of Mariupol was struck immediately after all that news started breaking yesterday. 11 people killed, 13 people wounded in Mariupol. They were striking residential buildings in a little burb outside of Mariupol. It's a town called Marganets. 10 people were killed, 11 were injured, 10 are in the hospital, 7 are serious. More than 20 high-rise which you have seen those buildings. If you've been in here with us for any amount of time, we show you the buildings. They were damaged in the city, as well as the Snap, the Palace of Culture, a hotel, 2 schools, the building of the city council, and several other administrative buildings. Power infrastructure was destroyed. Many people in Dnipropetrovsk right now do not have electricity or water. They are working to repair. And in the adjoining village, which is not Marganets, but in an adjoining village, 11 private houses, a gas pipeline were damaged, and there are about 1,000 people there without gas. This is, for sure, the response right at civilians, right at people, because Russia lost a lot yesterday, and we will look at that. And the reason I'm comfortable in saying this was the payback action that we expected is because President Zelensky himself, just a few hours ago, said this was the payback action, but be reminded, Russia, you will pay for this payback. And we see Donetsk burning. It's heating up, folks. Let's just say it. Kakhovka Bridge. I want to give you an update on that. This would be the bridge that is up the river from Kherson, above the Antonivsky Bridge. In fact, let me do this for you as well right here. Earlier, we've got reports. I've got the footage. I've got photos. I'm just waiting on a little more confirmation. But for sure, air bases in the Gomel area, which would be Russian/Belarusian, were struck. That if, and it comes out to be, it's Ukraine, whether it's a missile strike or explosion or sabotage, that's going to be 2 air bases in 2 days. That's good stuff right there. Now, I want to get the red mark off of there, and I want to come down, and I will show you this. We'll go right here. We'll zoom on in for you. Kherson, of course. We'll go red. Kherson. And then this is the Antonovsky Bridge. Well, the only other bridge upriver is the Kakhovka Bridge. And this bridge, there is also a hydro plant. Well, this bridge was struck. I'm going to show you a little footage. The bridge is still passable for vehicles, but it is not passable for trains. So the headlines were rolling today, oh, the bridge is destroyed and it's impassable. Well, it was hit hard, and the train portion of the bridge is impassable. The highway portion of the bridge is moderately damaged, but cars, tractor trailers are still moving across it. The other thing is you have to remember that this is not just a bridge, but this is a complete infrastructure for the hydro power plant. This is significant target, and I'm not sure what kind of further damage could be done, or if there is water on one side where the dam is. I don't know. We can definitely find out. For sure, there is a large body. I know the area well, but I don't know what would happen if there was other damage that happened. But I'm sure we're going to see. So let me show you that first. Here's a little bit. Some of this doesn't have sound. It's drone footage. And the other part of it is you'll hear a little bit of sound. Really nothing to translate, but I just want you to see it. And I want to confirm it's the Kakhovka Bridge. You'll see the sign. And that's not the one, this one. So this is the damage on the infrastructure there. You can see there's a tractor trailer passing. Cars are still passing. You know, in most of your countries that you're watching from, of course, these bridges would not allow people to pass if they were damaged. But they're passing here. The last thing I want to validate for you guys is in just a second, it'll flip over and you'll see the bridge itself and the name of it. I know it's written in the Russian language, but it's obvious. It starts with a K. There it is, Kakhovskaya. So there you can see the damage, you can see the strikes. The bridge is passable for cars, but it is not passable for the train, as you can see. Now, we can confirm today as well. We talked about this. The relationship between Iran and Russia is growing, and Russia launched military satellite. They can call it what they want to, military satellite into orbit for Iran. Russia will be using that technology. There's no question. And Iran keeps reiterating, we're not going to be sending our drones to Russia. Then the question is, why are Russian soldiers in Iran being trained on Iranian drones? These are facts, and these are happening right in front of our face. Iran is going to come into this game. If this war's not ended, Iran will be in this game. China will be in this game. Just watch. Kyiv gives an update report on Crimea. So many questions out. My personal opinion is it doesn't ultimately matter. I'm sure the military strategists that watch this program and help me out understanding a lot of military things will say, no, it probably does matter to know we can hit it with a missile. Of course, it would be great to say that, but until Kyiv says it, I'm not saying it, and Kyiv did not say it. They keep with the same rhetoric and the same game. As you can see, as we displayed for you last night, it's a game of rhetoric and it's a game of words. But Kyiv does give an update on Crimea. This is directly from Kyiv. Russia lost aircraft at the airbase in Crimea. Great. The Russian aerospace forces suffered losses in combat aircraft as a result of the explosions at the airbase in Crimea. I quoted that from them. They called it explosion. Sure, a strike can explode too. The Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that potentially about 10 Russian combat aircraft were destroyed. That's what they're confirming up to this point. Now, I can confirm it for you as well. Here is satellite imagery that came out today, some of the first photos that came from the strike. And you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 planes there. It looks like a half a plane, so 7 that are burn up. And what's interesting about this, here's where we have a little bit of fun now. People will say, okay, you're just showing an aerial shot of airplanes where they're parked. That could have been Photoshopped. No, it's confirmed multiple times. Well, okay, then, that doesn't show us that that's that airport. Okay, then we'll do this. So here is the airport. If you take a little look, you can see, just look at where the planes are parked. The little long one and up the top, then it goes around a curve and there's the other one. Just look and boom. And then we'll go to right here and you'll see it. This is exactly where it was. This is the zone we're looking in. Very obvious. Well, okay, well, that doesn't prove that it is. No, but this does. I just go straight out. Novaya Fedorovka's right here. And the airbase, and this is where the strike was, and this is the parking lot where I showed you the car parked with the metal through it. So what we know, absolutely, they tore it up. However it happened, they tore it up. Love those craters. Yeah, Ricochet, tight-lipped, exactly. Let's see. Let me just, I don't want to miss any chat here, so 7,000, hit it again. Yeah, we're going to hit it again. Wouldn't Belarus have grounds to invade if it's a Ukrainian strike? Yes, but they don't have the courage. They're a bunch of cowards. Russia will use them as a proxy nation. And let me be very clear. Many Belarusians do not want to be in this war. They do not want to be controlled by Russia. They do not want to be in war with Ukraine. There are Belarusians fighting on the side of Ukraine. There are a lot of wonderful Belarusian people, just as there are wonderful Russian people, wonderful Ukrainian people. There are a lot of wonderful people everywhere. We're seeing evil. We're seeing dictatorship. We're seeing Hitler #2 now in the life of Putin, and it just destroys nations. Belarus, they will not invade Ukraine on their own. Russia will do it as a proxy nation. Do we know whether the strike was external kinetic means or been a long stoppage? No, we don't know. In fact, if you want to know what we have right now, the craters represent Russian infrastructure, the S-300 or the S-400. And I know I'm going off topic here, but just to answer, I like answering people's questions. And Ukraine doesn't even have that weapon. I wouldn't put it past Russia to strike their own base. Listen, they're desperate. Let me tell you why they're desperate. Vladimir Putin declared a state of emergency in Crimea, and in Crimea, people have lost their minds. Lost their minds. How? Oh, I'll show you.
Представляете, на федеральной трассе, обалдеть, вот такая пробка громадная, но еле-еле катимся, но слава богу, что хоть не стоим. Вообще не хочу уезжать из Крыма, из Алушты. Как здесь классно вообще.
Привыкла, да?
Я привыкла здесь, как в своем доме жили. Настолько все душевно, по-домашнему. Ой, ребят, мы встряли, выехали, называется, после завтрака. Там просто задница полная. Сними его с чьей стороны.
Да, я вот так сейчас покажу. А этот встал. Там в горку.
Там такая вереница тянется. Выехали мы с Симферополя только на эту главную трассу, которая на Керчь ведет. Ребята, это жопа, просто жопа. Представляете?
Других слов нету, да?
Да. Ну мы что, мы поздно выехали, мы в 11 выехали из Алушты.
Мы, короче, в Симферополе в пробку стояли. За Симферополем вышли уже на трассу, где сказали 200 чем-то километров по прямой. И здесь пробка.
И здесь пробка. И причем какая пробка? Уже 20 минут второго. Вот мы, считай, 2,5 часа, да, едем с Симферополя. Вообще кошмар. В багажнике смотрят, попросили открыть багажник.
That's what you've been doing to Ukraine for 168 days. How does it feel to have something go off in your backyard and you've got to get in a car? And, oh, I don't want to leave. It's such a place full of life. I guess it is. It's Ukraine. I don't wish ill will on anybody. I want all this over. But God bless you. 200 kilometers of traffic jams. You kept hearing the word probka. I'll teach you a little Russian in 10 seconds. Probka actually is the Russian word for a wine cork that goes into the wine bottle. Probka. But in normal Russian talk, it is a slang word for a traffic jam. A wine cork, probka. That's what they call a traffic jam. There you have your Russian language tutorial for tonight. Mariupol Tribunal update. Now, this is happening. We showed you last night a video where it's translated. Pushilin himself said that they were going to try the Azov defenders. We know all of that. I had the pictures. I sat on those pictures right there. We confirmed all of those. I'm going to take it to the next level tonight. And before we do that, I'm going to give you a zoom in here of Mariupol. Once again, street doesn't work, but we can look at Mariupol. And just to confirm, this is the Azovstal. I can show it to you right here. The Azovstal plant. And I'm going to take you up to the center of Mariupol. Right here. And this would be the drama theater that was struck, and all those people lost their lives. Well, if you go up Prospect Mir, which is the road of peace, by the way. I'm just telling you, Prospect Mir, highway of peace. How's that work for you? And you come over here to the Philharmonic. So basically in every city, larger cities in Ukraine, Russia, nations of the former Soviet Union, you would have two main theaters, actually three in every city. The first theater you would have is you would have a drama theater, typically very large, where they would have plays, operas, meetings, The drama theater in Khmelnytsky probably seats 1,200 people. It's a double-decker. It's beautiful. And secondly, each city will have an officers' theater. That is where the Communist Party would go and have their Communist Party meetings. It was called the Officers' Theater. And then the third theater would be the Philharmonia, and that would be the musical theater. Well, this musical theater, and I'll zoom into it right now, this is where they're going to be holding the trials for the Azov defenders. This is it. You can see the stage. Somebody had put a picture back in the day. This is the theater. And what I want you to pay attention to is this blue building right here. Pay attention to this. You will see it in the video. We're going to confirm the location of all this stuff I'm showing you. And while we're in here, would you guys just look with me for a moment how beautiful Mariupol was? This is all destroyed. Look at this. Look at that park with the drama theater. Destroyed. That's liberation right there. So we can confirm, yes, there will be. Unless something happens, this is what's going to happen. Here's a little bit of video, and you can see it for yourself. That sign says Sena, meaning door to the stage. They're showing how you go right into the holding cages. This is the outside, and there is the blue building I showed you for reference. That is a statue of Pushkin, a poet, Russian poet. So there you have it. This is going to happen unless there's liberation or a disruption in the plans. It's going to happen, which is going to be a disaster. Kherson. Kherson is completely occupied by Russia, but in Kherson, people are Ukrainian. I have a little picture there for you where it says Kherson, c'est Ukraina. Kherson's all Ukrainian. This is all Ukraine. And that was up a few months ago. It's the only picture I could find where it said that. I wanted to show you Kherson, c'est Ukraina. Now, above the picture and below Kherson, you see the words Dядя Grisha, and that is a phonetic Russian. And you see Dядя. That actually means uncle, and the word Grisha is actually a name. It's actually a slang name for Gregory, my name. So actually, when I'm in Ukraine, I'm called Grisha. And to make it even more funny, I'm actually called Dядя Grisha. With all my friends and everywhere I go, I'm called Dядя Grisha. It's a slang term meaning Uncle Greg. Okay. Well, you're getting ready to hear from, I guess, the original Dядя Grisha. And here's what's interesting. This is a former Soviet Red Army soldier from Ukraine, from Kherson. He's very well known in Kherson. He rides around on his little motorized scooter, and his name is Dядя Grisha, Uncle Greg, Uncle Grisha. In Ukrainian, you would say Gritsko. In Russian, Grisha, Dядя, Uncle Greg. What does he have to say? Very interesting. And he had the same name as me, so I had to show you. And I guess in my old age, this is what I'll be doing when I travel to Ukraine.
Привіт, дядя Гриша, як справи? Скажіть українцям, скажіть, як нас справи в Херсоні.
Як справи? В Херсоні дуже тяжко. Люди з грошима дуже тяжко, обналічки нема, нічого нема. Але виживаємо і чекаємо. І чекаємо перемоги, чекаємо наших. Не знаю.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава ЗСУ!
Слава!
Здоров'я вам, дядь Гриша!
That would be a gentleman, served in the Red Army, is a well known. He rides a scooter around. He says, we're waiting for our guys to come. That means Ukraine. Right now, Zhenya is sleeping for a couple of hours, and then he's going to be heading out for a run. Right now, he is here, and he's going that way. Right there. How is that? Is that doing good enough? I got to make sure I keep all my military guys right. He's there, and he's going that way. Somewhere. That way, southeast. But with that said, it's going to be a very difficult, probably 3-day run. What is in the run? This is what you have given money. You have supported our efforts here. 168 days. I can tell you, I was speaking with Pastor Kent today, and our numbers as of now, we've raised over 155,000 US dollars. It's unbelievable what a community can do when you put a little bit of consistency with it, care. You in it for the long term. You build credibility. That's what we're doing. $155,000 we've raised. You guys have helped with that. So what is in this run? Zhenya and I went over it just a couple of hours ago before he went to sleep. 470 food bags for a cutoff village. The information where they're going came from the military. The run's approved, and it's going to be a tight one. 470 food bags for a cutoff village. This village is cut off due to shelling, and there's no food. So they're delivering 470 food bags. For the military, carrying 30 sleeping bags. They're carrying cases of matches and military candles. We're carrying 8 cases of general medicine. And this is all public knowledge. It's no big deal. Nobody knows where he's at. 400 kilograms of meat for soldiers on the front line. 150 kilograms of metal. I asked him what the metal's for. Couldn't tell me. Well, he could, and he did, but I can't tell you. I'm learning. 1 case of special painkillers when guys are really injured. 8 cases of soap and hygiene. 1 case of Israeli med kits. 1 case of Israeli tourniquets. They provided some relief. And 9 cases of Special Forces food. I said, man, what is that? And he was showing me, it's these little, it's not K rations or anything like that, but it's all these different little food packages that they can be very mobile with and can be sustained for 2 or 3 days. So that's what's happening. And why don't we just hear it from him himself, and you can see.
Process of preparation. We rented special trailer. At this moment we loading it with the food sets. Okay, here guys, our brothers.
Привет.
Okay, at this moment it's loaded 100 kilogram, 1,500. Okay, this is the maximum this trailer can load, can carry, and it will be later. It will be loaded with the bandages and different medicine stuff in here. So here it is. We're in the process, and we will load this van, and we will load the other van, and we will load 1 more trailer. This one trailer will be loaded as well. In process.
Скільки це? Женя. Скільки? Зеленый.
It's our product, our manufacture, let's say. We did special equipment. It passed all the needed food tests, and it is rice with the meat, some vegetables. Very high quality product. It goes for our military guys. All of that we take with us.
Можна було не старатися.
Okay, так. So what do we have here? sunflower oil, the story of Jesus Christ, some kind of beans, salt, sanitizer, sugar, flour, noodles, spaghetti, buckwheat, and some other stuff. It's one example of one, and the other one, there as well the bigger one. There is a flour, these flakes, sugar, or it was salt. I don't know the name in English, I forgot. It's a buckwheat. One more sugar, okay. Bible, New Testament. And macaroni and sunflower oil.
So there you have it. Unbelievable. What I liked, if you guys noticed, it was so good. He said, this is the maximum that it can hold, but later we're going to put the medical supplies on top of it. I thought that was pretty good. I did see your questions there. What is 300 or 150 kilograms of metal? Let's think about it. Projectiles. Pew, pew, pew. It is awesome. So we're very, very, very thankful. And listen, guys, you and our church and everybody partnering together has made that happen. And we are deeply grateful. We're not stopping. We keep saying the phrase, I'm going to teach you guys Russian before this is over. Do pobedi. We're going to continue until victory. Unfortunately, Steven Seagal strikes again. He came to America, made millions with all these movies that I grew up on and loved watching. Yes, it does change the status. And this trip, you knew what it was. This trip is actually, they have some military going with them. This is a tight one. This is a tight one. Seagal strikes again. What an idiot. Comes to America, makes millions and millions of dollars, does all these movies, and now he's best buddies with, that's him with Pushilin right there in Donetsk People's Republic. He's best buddies with Solovyov and Vladimir Putin. Just a month ago, he had his birthday there in Moscow, and Solovyov and all the crazies were there. And just look at this madness here.
Most beautiful foreign minister in the world. So we work in the same company.
We work in the same company. Yeah, I work up there. We work together.
Anyway, I don't like all these cameras on me because they're not supposed to be on me. So
I don't like all the cameras. They're not supposed to be on me.
Yes, I've seen it. Just a little.
So there you have it. Steven Seagal doing his thing. Ridiculous. Now, Russian news. I've got a Russian news clip for you tonight, translated. Just showed you. I got a little piece of it. Russian news is talking about the eastern cities that are liberated. Since this war began, Zhenya and myself have been communicating to you and to the world that these cities will never be repaired. They will never be rebuilt unless Ukraine wins their territory back. Then they will be rebuilt from scratch. It will happen. But if Ukraine loses this war, right here, Rubizhny is destroyed. It's leveled. It will never be rebuilt. Severodonetsk, I showed you that a few nights ago. Lysychansk is the same way. Look down the map to Popasnaya or Popasna. That city leveled. And we have been saying, they will never rebuild. They will never rebuild. Look at Abkhazia. Look at Georgia. Look at South Ossetia. Look, it is their pattern. Look at Syria. It's never going to be rebuilt. Destruction, destruction, destruction. Now, on Russian news today, they even said it themselves. Here it is translated for you.
понимаете, война она бесследно не проходит. Самые основные проблемы, которые на сегодняшний день стоят, это, конечно, определиться с количеством тех людей, которые остались на освобожденных территориях. Но это имеется в основном, это территория Северодонецк, Лисичанск, рубежная, Кременная, опасная, по которой, скорее всего, предположительно, решение окончательно не принято, но, возможно, мы попасть в него восстанавливать не будем, потому что особого смысла нет. Город действительно разрушен практически полностью. Ну, а еще раз повторюсь, окончательно.
And there you have it, direct from his mouth on RIA Novosti, which is Russian news, their agency RIA. He listed the cities, point blank said, which we will not rebuild. And, you know, they have to check on the people that are there in the liberated cities first. Listen, if that's liberation, I don't want it. That's translated perfectly. First thing we have to do is determine the status of the people in our liberated cities. Seriously? And then we have to look at the infrastructure and, you know, these cities we will not rebuild. I mean, it's not confirmed, but we will not rebuild. That's what's happening, folks. We know it. We know it. Now, many people have asked me, well, not many. I've had 4 or 5 questions. Greg, what are Cossacks? I keep hearing about Cossacks. Are they for us or against us? Are they on the Russian side or on the Ukrainian side? I mean, aren't they like famous in history, the Cossacks? And I think I saw a movie in 1975 on the Cossacks. Here you go. The Cossacks are predominantly East Slavic Orthodox Christian people group. The yellow zone there is their origination. They are Ukrainian. They were a semi-nomadic and semi-militarized people who were allowed a great degree of self-governance in exchange for their military service by whichever nation they were nomadic was controlling the region throughout history. The Cossacks were particularly noted for holding democratic traditions. They were, it looks like, well, they were brutal warriors, but they were civil in how they handled their matters. And yes, something in their DNA, they are serious warriors. They are fighting for Ukraine.
Комбат каже, дає команду. Їду на фарт закурив. Закурили на удачу. Щоб удача нас супроводжувала.
Працює?
Да. Це танком пряме попадання попало. Це було 2 чи 3 дні назад. Вон до сих пор пшеничка горить. Та родовий я козак. Що мені важливо? Де козак повинен бути? Якщо війна, на герць прийшов на війну, боронити свою землю. У мене внуки, 4 внуків. Краще носити оці обладунки воїна, тяжкі, чим легкий ошийник раба.
Вони готуються, але в них нічого не вийде. Тому що у нас вже достатньо озброєння, достатньо техніки, щоб чинити їм опір. Вони вже не пройдуть.
Поїхали.
Do not mess with those guys. Did you catch the quote? I'm gonna freeze frame it. Which takes a little second here. Right here. Right there. Do you see that quote from Call Sign Grandpa? It's better to wear this warrior's armor heavy than the light collar of a slave. I mean, even just look at the picture. Look at those eyes. The grandpa defending his land. What a quote. We need to write that one down. It's brilliant. It's Cossack. It's better to wear this warrior's armor heavy than the light collar of a slave. Brilliant. That's Cossacks. Now, the title of the program tonight was This is a War of Plunder. And I firmly believe that 1,000,000%. I'm going to show you a few things tonight to validate that as we close out. It's not just Russia and Ukraine. I want to start there, although this is the key one right now. But many of the events that are happening throughout the world right now are all economic. Just think about it. And yes, we stay on task as much as we can. We try not to be political. We have all different persuasions here. This is not politics. This is supporting Ukraine and telling the truth to the world. Here's the deal. American economics, screwed up. I mean, messed up. Sorry. China, Taiwan, messed up. India, messed up. Russia, stealing from Ukraine, absolutely. Lebanon, starving, turns down Ukrainian grain. We have a mess. This is a war of plunder, which of course pushes me to my Ezekiel 38 theory, but war of plunder. So here's what I want to show you. I get this question all the time. PG, we know that Ukraine is the breadbasket of the Soviet Union and in some respects, most of the world, sunflowers, for example. Yes. But do they have other resources? The answer is yes. Major resources. Here you see a map of coal deposits located throughout Ukraine. Look where the majority of the coal deposits are. Already in occupied territory and then pushing over toward central Ukraine. Coal flows in abundance in eastern Ukraine. Okay, so that's coal. Let's look at the next one. Natural gas. This is part of my theory as to why, at the minimum, they're going to do that half line, cut off the Black Sea, Sumy down to northern Transnistria region. This would accomplish most of the natural gas deposits. You can see some in the east. You have some out west in the Carpathian Mountains, but the majority is right there in that Kharkiv, Sumy, and Poltava regions. That's your natural gas, and it's substantial. Metals, major. Once again, eastern region. Same zones they want, all the metals. I would say 50% of that region is already occupied, and they're pushing for the other. In fact, if you were to look straight over where the pink goes and then kind of stops before it jumps a little bit to the middle, that would be the city of Dnipro. Dnipro is always being struck. This is what they want. You see what's happening. That's the metals. Well, what about oil? Oil is also right basically where the natural gas is, and additionally a little bit out in the Carpathians. Not major with oil, but substantial. That's a large area. This is a war of plunder. We've shared many times. Many others have jumped on the bandwagon from the beginning. You know, I know that intentions are meant well for sanctions, and I know at some point they will have some effect on Russia and on the citizens of Russia, but it will never stop this war. Never, because the sanctioning nations that are in the world are so few. Europe, Canada, United States, Australia. That's it. Maybe a random nation here and there. That's it. Russia still has China. They still have India. They still have all the Middle East. They have all of Africa. There's plenty of places they can do business with. The sanctions are not going to work. The only way sanctions would work is if the entire world stood economically against the evil regime of Putin. But it's not happening, and it will not happen. It will not happen. I remind you today, do not believe everything you see. Russia is filthy rich. They've been preparing for this for decades. There are gold by the tons in the Kremlin, in the lower regions. I'm telling you, facts. I know they have issues with the sanctions, but it will not stop the war. And the other reason that we say the sanctions are not so important is because they are thieves. Just take the grain, just take the metal, just take the oil, take the steel, take the coal, Take the natural gas. They don't have to worry about it. Just conquer and take. This is why Vladimir Putin will only respect power, equal or greater than. And it's going to happen to stop this war eventually. Last thing, and we're closing out. In a few hours, I will be talking to Zhenya. We'll have another good update for you tomorrow, but everything will be okay. Let me see here. Make sure I don't miss any chat before we sign off tonight. Y'all see Superman there? Everything is going to be okay. Ukraine's going to win this war. Why? We have Superman on our team. Here's just for a smile for you tonight. Is the enemy that way? Thank you. It's so short. Watch it one more time. I love it. I thought that was a great way to show. In the middle of all this war, they got a great sense of humor. Now, for those of you that are watching tonight on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, Twitch, I really want to encourage you. We're going to start this push over the next 2 weeks to get you to YouTube. And because when I'm on the road coming up, I leave the 24th to begin the travels. It's just sometimes I may be in situations where I can only get to YouTube. And I know folks watch on all these other platforms, especially Reddit. So if you're there and you haven't subscribed, please, our communications coordinator helped me out big time on this one. Give me 60 seconds of your time.
Hey friends, before Pastor Greg leaves for Europe, we want to make sure you don't miss out on any of his updates. So if you're watching from Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, or Reddit, we encourage you to join us on YouTube. It's easy. Just go to youtube.com/GregTerryExperience and be sure to click the button to subscribe and hit the bell for alerts. Or if you're watching from a smart TV or device, just search Greg Terry Experience in the YouTube app. Once again, be sure to subscribe and sign up for alerts so you don't miss anything. The best way to engage with the experience is from YouTube, and we'd love for you to join us there. See you there, and Slava Ukraine.
Isn't she awesome? Thank you, Amy. And I'm going to run that about every 3 days. If you're here, and I know you say, well, BG, I'm so comfortable on Facebook. I know. But you can get comfortable on YouTube too, because I really want to make sure we're connecting just in case. So thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight from everywhere. Peace to you. Peace to Ukraine. We'll have the next update in 23 hours. Who knows? Be blessed and good night.